All right, guys. So when we left off on the last lesson, we kind of were right here. And I had just shown you two different websites to use, What the Font and thefont.com. So we have, I'm going to zoom right out here. So we have our stripes, we have our shapes, everything is lined up. Really, the next thing we need to make sure we have is probably one of the most important things is the text that gives us our information. Now, what we've done so far, we could have easily done in Photoshop or Illustrator. However, whenever we start adding all of these different elements of shapes and pictures and images, and then we have to add text, it is a lot easier to manage the text in InDesign. So that's the main focus. So InDesign really takes the things you draw and create, like these shapes, and the images that we Photoshop, and brings them together for us to be able to create a publication. So if we look over here at our layers, I'm going to create a new layer, and it's going to be called text. And the reason I separate everything out like this is just so that it's a lot easier for us to manage. And that is not how we spell text. Okay. All right, see, we all struggle a little bit. Okay, so text. In this text layer, I'm going to be adding admit one, the date, name, phone number, RSV, excuse me, and the come one, come all. So we're going to learn how to do a normal text box as well as one on a path. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our browser, and we had looked up the Circus font. And if it ever comes down to where you guys need to have a specific font for something, I will make sure that it's included in your weekly assignment sheet. So, for example, Circus right here is on font. I've already looked through all the decorative fonts to find what I was looking for. But if you're kind of just looking around to see if you like something, there's a lot of different things you can look at here. So we can look at all these different, we can have it separated by fancy, we can go by themes, script, sans serif, all of our different basic things here. But I knew I was doing a circus theme or a carnival theme, so if I typed in carnival, you see we get kind of, that's similar, but I really do like that first one, circus. So if you type in your theme ideas, it'll give you stuff if the name is similar to it in there that you can use. So circus is, I'm going to use that one. And then for the other font that's on here, this one right here, I'm going to do this so it's easier to switch back and forth. So this font right here, it kind of reminds me of like a rodeo font or something that would be used in a rodeo. But I also need to know that whenever I look at this circus font and I look at the letters up under it, I notice it does not have any numbers. And it also does not have any of these symbols. So I literally can only use this font for letters. That's very important, especially with me doing an invitation where I'm going to have times and commas and stuff on here. So I need to find a font that I can use for anytime I have to type a number. So right here. And that looks kind of like a rodeo or something. So I'm going to put rodeo in here. And I'm just going to kind of sling through. Okay, so that looks pretty close to what I'm looking for. I'm going to click on it. And I want to make sure, since I need this to be able to work with numbers, I want to make sure that this has numbers. Okay, so this one has numbers, which is good. But we do not have any of this other stuff, okay? So I just need to make sure that I remember that whenever I go to start typing. So then I will click download. This will download to my Finder, and you can open your Finder up. Right, yours isn't going to look as wild as mine does. And then you'll double click here. And I may have to come and put a password in and username in to make sure that these let you get into them. So it's going to open them up. You can see I've already done it. And I'm going to find the one that's .ttf. That means True Type Font. Okay, that means it goes in as a font. I can double click and push install font. It's already there. Okay, that's what it's telling me. It's already there. So if I go through, these are the fonts I've added into my computer just for different things that I've done. and we get the spinny bar. So sometimes you will get that spinny bar. But if you look through the list of this, you can see that I've already added circus and I've already added the rodeo. And so that way I have access to these while I'm going through and doing this. Now do have another one that's called Yatsuro Western Regular. And I may use that depending on what I like as far as thickness wise, because this one is a lot more bold than this one is. So it's always good to have a couple of backups in case once you have it on your file, you're not really happy with the way it looks. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to work on getting our admit one. So right here, okay, typed in right here above Cooper's head. So we're going to get our type tool. Type is right here. It's the T. It's also the quick key is T on your keyboard. So you can click and drag, and it's in a drag a tool. Now you'll see the box is pink or magenta. So you'll see that that matches my type layer. And then I'm going to type admit. This is an all cap font, so it doesn't really matter. One. Okay. All right. So now I need to do it in the circus theme. I'm going to go up here and type circus in. Be able to click on it. All right. That's much smaller than what I want it to. So I'm just going to increase the size. And one thing that I always definitely suggest doing when we're doing these assignments is that you push Shift W on your keyboard. So I have my move tool select or my selection tool. Now I'm gonna push Shift W. Shift W makes my screen kind of go full screen and it gives me a print version of this.